Peace be upon you. I'm Aman, and tonight, I'm about to share with you a story that's not mine. It was sent to me by a girl, in her own words, with full details. But at the end, she wrote only this: if you don't share this story completely, maybe I'll never find peace. So tonight, what you're going to hear is not just a horror story. It is a journey, a terrifying descent from life to something beyond death. I had never seen her, but she could see me. These were the first words of the email I received from Farah, a girl from Lahore, alone, and a witness to something that can't be captured in words. Farah told me her grandmother had passed away years ago, buried in a remote village called Chak Mirza. One day, she felt an urge to visit, to recite Fatiha and spend a quiet moment at her grave. But that day, that was the day her journey began, and perhaps never ended. 7 p.m. The streets of Lahore were heavy with silence after the rain. Farah booked a taxi and headed toward Chak Mirza. The driver was quiet, the road was deserted, and the atmosphere weighed down with something. First time going there? The driver asked, glancing at her through the rear-view mirror. Yes, she replied shortly. My grandmother's grave. I'm just going to say a prayer. The driver looked away, silent for a moment, as if thinking something. You shouldn't go there at night. Farah heard him and ignored it. The path to Chak Mirza broke away from the main road into a stony trail. The driver stopped the car. I don't go beyond this point. Why not? Just don't, and you shouldn't either. She handed him the fare, grabbed her bag, and stepped out without another word. She didn't know. The path she had stepped onto wasn't just made of soil. It held something else. There was complete silence along the way, just trees, darkness, and the soft echo of Farah's footsteps. But with every step she felt it, as if someone was walking right behind her. But every time she turned, nothing. The gate to the graveyard was rusted, old, and it opened on its own. Farah wrote, I didn't touch the gate. It just opened, as if someone invited me inside. The graves inside were scattered and unmarked. Some had faded names. Others had strange markings. One grave stood out and with nothing written on it, except a single line. This grave belongs to the one who never returned. Farah raised her hands to pray, but her tongue dried up. And then, someone whispered in her ear, Farah? She spun around. No one. Who's there? Who called me? Only silence replied. Or maybe, the one who had whispered. She quickly finished her prayer and turned back. But the gate was shut. She pushed it hard. A heavy sound came, as if someone stood on the other side. Then, the whisper returned. Why have you come here? The gate wouldn't budge. Farah pushed harder, then both hands against it. It rattled, but did not open. And suddenly, she felt it. Someone was standing on the other side. A shadow leaned close to the iron cracks and whispered, Why did you come here? Farah's heart froze. She tried to step back, but her feet wouldn't move. Then her eyes caught a faint glow in one corner of the graveyard. No moonlight, no lantern. Still, a strange shimmer was coming from one grave. Farah felt pulled toward it. It wasn't her walking anymore. Something was dragging her feet forward. She reached for her phone, but the screen was blank white. No signal, no time. Just a pale glow, like an eye watching her. As she got closer, something unbelievable happened. The gravestone was breathing, up and down, slowly, as if someone alive lay beneath it. Farah was about to back away, but then a voice came from inside the grave. Farah, listen to me. The voice was her own, exactly like her, but coming from beneath the earth. Who are you? She whispered in a trembling voice. You, the one I'm about to become. Farah slammed her palm on the ground and tried to scream, but no sound came. Her mouth opened, her eyes wide, but everything was silent, as if the world had gone mute. The soil began to move, on its own. Farah stepped back, but her legs were stuck. From beneath the earth, a face appeared. Her face, exactly the same. Their eyes locked for just a moment. Then the buried version of her said, Why did you come here, when you were never meant to return? And with that, the face vanished. The ground smoothed out again, as if nothing had ever happened. But under Farah's feet, the ground felt hollow. She summoned every ounce of strength to scream. And at that exact moment, the gate burst open. She turned and ran. She didn't look back. Whatever was behind her was now running with her. Branches swayed and scratched, like trying to grab her. The wind turned into a voice, repeating just one word. Return, return, return. Farah reached the road, and the same taxi was there. But the driver was just staring at her, not opening the door, just staring, eyes bloodshot, face stiff. Open the door, please, she yelled. The driver calmly said, What did you see? Just open the door! That wasn't you, was it? Her blood turned to ice. The door unlocked on its own. She jumped in, but the seat wasn't cold. It was wet, like someone had just Left it. The driver said nothing. The car began to move. Farah looked outside. The graveyard faded into the distance. But near the gate, a figure was standing. Long hair, watching her. Farah sat in the taxi. Her breath was uneven. Her hands trembling. She looked out the window. That figure, still standing. Hair falling over the face. Unmoving, watching her fade into the night. The road ahead was silent, but inside her, a storm. The driver hadn't said a word since. No music, no coughing, no noise, only the hum of tires on the wet road. Farah tried to calm herself. Maybe it was just my mind playing tricks, she thought. A nightmare. Hallucinations. But then her hand brushed against something inside her bag. A folded piece of paper. She hadn't put it there. Her hands shook as she opened it. Only one line was written. Those who disturb the dead never sleep in peace. The paper slipped from her fingers. The air inside the taxi turned cold. So cold she could see her breath fog up the window. Then the driver spoke. Is someone sitting in the back seat? Farah turned around slowly. Nothing. But she felt it. Someone was breathing. The taxi came to a sudden stop. The driver opened his door and got out. Without saying a word. Where are you going? Farah shouted. No answer. She stepped out. The road was deserted. On both sides, trees. And ahead, a narrow, broken path leading to an old building. She looked around. No driver. Only her, and the path. Then, a faint sound behind her. Footsteps, and the soft weeping of a woman. Farah turned quickly, but saw no one. She began walking down the path. With every step, the air got heavier. Voices, whispers, grew louder. You called us. Now listen. We've come to ask you for something, yourself, or your voice. An old broken mansion appeared ahead, covered in moss, cracked windows, crooked walls. On the door, a red hand-shaped stain. Farah felt an urge to turn back, but her feet wouldn't obey. She entered. A chill wrapped around her like a shroud. It was as if the house itself had breathed her in. Inside, total darkness, except for one room, dimly lit. She moved toward it. In the center, a mirror. Old, dusty, broken in places. Farah leaned forward and breathed on the glass. The fog cleared, and what she saw inside was not her reflection. A woman. Long black hair, white blank eyes, silent face, but screaming through its stillness. The mirror began to shake, and a door behind her creaked open. Farah ran into it, blindly. She didn't know what lay ahead, only that what was behind was following. Inside, darkness again. The smell of rot. The walls, scratched. On the floor, finger-dragged lines, as if someone had been pulled in here. Against their will. In one corner, a chair. Someone was sitting on it. There was no breath in the room, but a breathing sound filled it. Then came the voice. You called, didn't you? It was her own voice again. Now listen to what we have to tell you. All around her, mirrors began to emerge from the walls. Each mirror held a version of her dead body. One hanged, one without eyes, one being swallowed into the earth. Then, the figure on the chair stood up. The ground trembled. Farah shut her eyes and screamed. This time, the scream came out, and every mirror shattered at once. She fell to the ground. The room, empty. No chair. No shadows. Only fog. And one final whisper. This is just the beginning. We still have unfinished business.